All right, folks, welcome to the Music Elitist podcast. I am the Music Elitist, but actually, I don't think I'm a music elitist anymore. I've tried to overcome my music elitism. I used to be an extreme music elitist. So that's why I named the podcast this. It just seemed fitting. So on this podcast, we're going to try to overcome our own music elitism. Now, that's a crazy thing, music elitism, because you really can branch out far, really far, when you uh, have an open mind and try to look past your own biases. Now, it's a strange thing because, like, let's say somebody told me that they didn't like U2, for example, uh, and I'd say, like, are you sure you don't have like a bias against them or wrote them off prematurely? If you listen to them more, could they possibly be one of your favorite bands? And a lot of people just be like, no, no, and they're just closed off on that. So for me, there's no band like that. I don't think where I would just like write them off forever, going no, like you know it. So I try to hit play on everything, and I'll be very persistent on coming back to artists that maybe haven't hit me yet. Um, I hit play on everything because when you hit play, it gives you what I call raw exposure. So it manifests the music into your reality, where if you wouldn't have hit play, it wouldn't have opened that possibility. So sometimes when you hit play on an album or an artist, uh, you hit, so it's like a gamble almost, and you hit the jackpot, and the slot machine starts going ding, 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 and that happens a lot. But if you wouldn't have hit play, it's like a free slot machine. It's like a free slot machine. Now, it's a strange thing. It's a strange thing to wrap my head around. Uh, but so I think when you hit play on everything, it's in a way, it's got to do with the crossroads of fate and free will, and you're short circuiting fate when you're doing that. It really is like playing a game with reality. Um, it allows you to move much faster. Uh, the Autobahn, Kraftwerk has an album called Autobahn. So music listening really is like the Autobahn, where I think some people, the way they listen to music, it's like they wait for the universe to bring the music to them, and they're not just like hitting play on everything all at once. So that's another element of how I do what I do. I see my relationship with different bands and artists as something that I cultivate over time. So like Radiohead, I'm always listening to Radiohead, or just, always cultivating that garden. It's like a phone conversation it's like a conversation that you're having over time with Radiohead's music. And honestly, it's like a lifelong conversation because there's so much material there when you take into account live albums or bootlegs and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, music videos. There's so much content there to take in. Or like REM. There's so much REM music. You're not just gonna like go on an REM binge and take in all their music, or at least I don't work that way. But I think some people, the way that they listen to music would be like a friend shows them Radiohead or something, and then they go on a Radiohead kick, and they just get into all of Radiohead stuff all at once. And then next they get into REM, and then next they might discover the Smiths. But for me, I just start on everything all at once, and I keep opening doorways, and then I keep cultivating that garden, that relationship over time. And it does gain depth over time. So my understanding of Radiohead's music, it just consistently grows. Yeah, falling from my money tree, and it grows throughout the month. That's what it is. It's like an investment. So listening to music, it's like an investment that you reap over time. So you're investing. What are you investing in? Well, me, I've invested in a lot of groundwork, I feel, with albums. Again, it's just that raw exposure to the music. So when I'm laying groundwork, I just have an album playing in the background while I'm cleaning or whatever, and it's soaking into your subconscious, and that's exactly it. and then you throw it on a later date, and out of nowhere it just hits you. But sometimes it takes a few listens for an album to hit you, or maybe you just weren't paying enough attention the first time, or for whatever reason you weren't in the right mindset for that album to hit you, but then you do it on a later date. And I do believe that groundwork plays a role in it, because it takes some exposure to get into albums. Some stuff will hit you first listen, just like that. Some albums you gotta put in work to actually understand. At least I do. But it's worth it, and I'll be very persistent trying to get into stuff. Uh, yeah. Where am I going from here? Okay, so, and that's where I'm just blanking out. So to lay the groundwork, and yeah, like Maria McKee, that happened with me on. So I had listened to her "Life Is Sweet" album, and I hate to say it, this happens to me with albums. I 100% believe it's my own fault, uh, or my own shortcoming, that I'll throw an album on and it goes in one ear, out the other. And I'm saying that about the "Life Is Sweet" album by Maria McKee, which is one of my absolute favorite albums of all time. That's like easily a top 20 album for me. But the first time I listened to it, I didn't know that there was something so incredible there. So your radar, you're not like expecting it. So you're just like, I don't know, this is some female singer songwriter. I guess we'll see if it grabs me. But then I threw it on again, like, I don't know, 6 months or maybe even a year later. And I don't know if it's because I laid the groundwork or if I was just in a different state of mind, but it just grabbed me by the balls. And just albums will do that, and they just jump out at you and just make themselves known. And I remember listening to that album for the first time, and this has happened to me with a few albums, and where I'm literally like pacing around out loud saying like, oh my fucking god, what the fuck. I'm like the fembot from Austin Powers, and my brain is just sparking, and I'm like, what? Like, what is this? Oh my god. And that's how great that album is. And when that happens with an artist, and that album hit me as hard as it did, it was like getting punched in the face. And I went out and got all of her other stuff, and just started. So that'll happen to me where I do go on a binge with an artist, and I soaked in. I listened to all of her stuff, and I freaking love Maria McKee. She has other albums that I could debate are maybe even better than "Life Is Sweet," which is insane. Ultimately, I tend to settle on "Life Is Sweet" is my favorite album from her. It could be my favorite album of all time. It's like, I think ranking is kind of ridiculous, but it's like, it wouldn't be far-fetched to say that's literally my favorite album of all time. But I also really, really love La Vida Nuova, which is her most recent album. That's probably my second favorite Maria McKee album. And then High Dive would probably be my third. I absolutely adore High Dive. And her other stuff from her too. Peddling Dreams is really great. Late December, you can tell that it's a masterpiece, just like La Vida Nuova. I loved Lone Shelter stuff. Lone Justice. They have an album called Shelter. Lone Justice. That was a faux pas on this podcast too. That's okay. I just lost all my Maria McKee cred there. No, that was just a flub. Okay, that was just a. Okay, that was the fembot short circuiting again. I'm just like so in awe of Maria McKee. Yeah, so I highly recommend Maria McKee. And another artist that I discovered like around the same time as Maria McKee was Sam Phillips. And it was kind of a similar thing with her, where I laid the groundwork with her on the Martinis and McKinney's album, and I had listened to it maybe once or twice, and I was like, yeah, I like this. I don't know like if this is like really a thing for me, like, or like I appreciate it, how much is really here. And then it was just like the Maria McKee, where just sunk its fangs into me and just went, "Here I am." She just made herself known. "I'm Sam Phillips. Here I am. You're gonna fucking like this shit." And yeah, but it's because I laid that groundwork and I hit play on something that I didn't really know even what it was. I had heard of her, I think, from Cat Power. Cat Power had said she was influenced by Sam Phillips. And so I looked it up and I'm like, I like female songwriters. I listen to a lot of female songwriters and I'm like, yeah, let's give it a go. And wow. And another thing about Maria McKee and Sam Phillips is what's weird is because I discovered them like at the same time, I'll always associate those two in my mind together. For me, it's like Maria McKee and Sam Phillips. And it's the same thing with Richard Thompson and David Sylvian, who I discovered around the same time. And they couldn't be more different of artists, but in my mind, they're always connected. So I feel like, and that happens to me with albums too, where when I discover certain albums in the same time frame, I'll always associate those albums together. And it's actually like the flavors of the album meld together. So like I'll always associate The Sensual World by Kate Bush with Daydream Nation by Sonic Youth and the Porno for Pyro's self-titled album and this Depeche Mode Greatest Hit CD. It was catching up with Depeche Mode that I was listening to at the time. And those are all like in my mind connected. I'll always associate Bona Drag by Morrissey with the Second Coming album by Stone Roses. It's like in the cosmos of my mind, right? The constellation of my brain neurons or whatever, those are grouped together, and I feel like they're always going to be. I think it's great because it's like you're creating your own musical map in your world because it's so hard to stay organized on all this music. Maybe in my mind, Stone Roses should be by like the Pixies because they're kind of in the same realm somewhat or whatever, with other baggy, Manchester, whatever. There's so many music genres. I can't keep up with all of it. I don't know. So they wore baggy pants, so it's called baggy music. Okay. I do remember that. But yeah, I like that I have my own musical map. It's cool. It's very cool. I'll always associate like Tovlo with Clutch and with Running Wild, the power metal band. So three very different artists, but ones I started to get into at the same time. And Caroline Polachek is on that island there. Welcome to my island, right? Welcome to my island of music. And this is the Music Elitist podcast. With that being said, welcome to the dojo. I know. I've recorded so many of these. I said that on an earlier one, and I'm like, I'm going to say welcome to the dojo. And I do mean that because, yeah, I am Master Sam, and we are going to learn today to overcome our music elitism. But so yeah, I think the way to overcome music elitism is very simple. It's to challenge yourself and listen to stuff that you don't like. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that and say, I'm not going to waste my time listening to stuff I don't like. Like, do you like Metallica? If you're answering no to that, go listen to Metallica. Go hit play on Metallica's albums. Even if you don't like metal, it doesn't matter because you got to keep branching out. Expose yourself to something that you wouldn't know that you liked. And also, I don't think one should say, well, I know Metallica. Of course, I've heard Metallica. They play them on the radio all the time. It's like, for me, it's like I enjoy the stuff they play on the radio. It's like I enjoy that stuff, but Metallica really hit me when I listened to the albums. Like for me, their first three albums, I love And Justice for All too, but those first three and And Justice for All, the first four are just incredible as albums. You listen to them as a whole journey. And just hit play on it. Go hit play on Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets. And you just might surprise yourself. So think of an artist that you don't like and listen to them. And you're really going to be surprised so much of the time that you're like, I don't know crap. That's what I always realize. I because music elitism, it's really got to do with ego, I think. Uh, and I've had a big ego over the years, thinking that other artists, you know, don't know what they're doing. Just like they got no clue what they're doing. Uh, that's really what the thought is, you know. Oh, they don't know crap. But then you realize, I don't know crap. I don't know crap. That's what you end up realizing. Uh, but yeah, one of the biggest examples, probably the biggest example of an artist that I call it flipping an artist. I talked about like short circuiting fate, like my greatest flip. Flipping an artist is when you flip your opinion from like disliking, like actively disliking an artist, to liking them, or in this case, them becoming one of my favorite artists. And it never would have happened if I didn't hit play on it and expose myself to it. So, and that band is Sugarland, who's a band who I had heard on the radio. I just knew her as like the nasally voiced country lady, and I would just like, it wasn't even in my realm of possibility that this might be for me. It's just like, this is an example of music that I don't like. I don't like mainstream stuff. I don't like modern country. There's just, other people like it, but there's nothing there for me. There's nothing there for me. And I found the Incredible Machine CD at the thrift shop, and it had coffee stains on it. And I said that in a past podcast. I'm like, that's so poetic. It had coffee stains on it, and I bought it because the cover looked cool, and because I had already kind of been challenging myself on country stuff, listening to more country stuff. And I put that CD in, and it was just like the Maria McKee thing, where it just jumped out at me, and just, I was like euphoric when I spun that. I felt like I really played like a trick on reality, where it's like, I'm not supposed to like Sugarland. It's like, this was never supposed to happen, but I made it happen by getting that raw exposure to it. Honestly, I probably would have ended up there anyway, just because I love the music so much. But yeah, I was just laughing. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, how could I be so wrong on an artist? And so that's my greatest flip. So that's really fun, because you really feel like you're like, doing something devious when you do that, and you're challenging your preconceptions. Yeah, and it's like you're seeing reality as it really is, because it's like that thing that I had blocking me from Sugarland's music, that bias, whatever, was like an illusion, and it's like you're peeking behind the curtain and going, wait, what was making me write that off and just think there's nothing here, when now, yeah, I'm a huge Sugarland fan, and I rank that Incredible Machine album as one of my favorite albums of all time. And I've listened to a bunch of Sugarland and Jennifer Nettles solo stuff, and will continue to. Like I said, it's a relationship that you have over time with the music. And like, I remember like the Stuck Like Glue song. I used to find it annoying, and now, since I have gotten really into Sugarland, I've listened to that song on my own accord like at least 100 times, and I'd be bopping it in the car, and I love that song. I'm watching live versions and stuff, and who would have thunk that? But it's like, it's really cool. It's really cool. And like Miley Cyrus, I never would have thought that I would love Miley Cyrus so much, or Rihanna, or Lady Gaga. All these people that I would have used to use them as an example of, this is what I don't like. I don't like pop. I don't like mainstream stuff. And it's like, I was so wrong, and I listen to so much pop music now, so much country. Like Miranda Lambert would be another one that I never would have thought that I would get into, but I bought the CD just like on a chance, thinking like, well, I can try the same thing I did with Sugarland. Maybe I can, maybe I can flip my opinion on her. And boy, did I flip my opinion on her. She's brilliant. She's absolutely brilliant. I love Miranda Lambert, and I'll continue listening to her music, continue soaking in her albums and music videos, and it's great. So that's going to be the assignment here for this first one. Not really an assignment, but if you want to try to flip your opinion on an artist, try to be creative. Think of one, challenge yourself. Try to be humble and go, is there an artist that I've like written off, that maybe I'm wrong on? Yeah. So, yeah, it's awesome when you do that. So I'm going to end this here because these are going to be about 20 minutes long. I think these podcasts. Anna Wolf, an artist I'm following on Facebook, had posted something that she's starting a podcast and she's going to make them like 15 to 20 minutes because she has ADHD. Well, I'm the same way because I've been having a lot of trouble getting a full like hour-long podcast, So I'm like, that's what I need to do is do a short one. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Music Elitist Podcast. All right, we will see you next time, folks. Okay.